my channel. Boy, do we have a good video for you guys today. I'm actually doing a collaboration, my very first collaboration with my friend Andri. Everybody knows Andri. She really is the queen of vlogs, you guys. We are doing a collaboration that it was her idea. We were having a conversation. We talked quite a bit. A rather lively conversation, as most of our conversations go. And she had the idea to do this collaboration. Is the Birkin just a status symbol? What do you think? If you want to hear what Andri and I have to say about the almighty Birkin, the unicorn of handbags, stick around. It's going to get good, guys. I made notes. And I first want to talk about the history of the Birkin and how it came about. But before I get started with all that, I'm just going to talk about my Hermes journey. No, I'm not on an Hermes journey. But I've always known about the Birkin. I don't know how, because my mom has never been into luxury bags. I've kind of always been into fashion. So I guess magazines and things like that. I don't actually remember when I first found out about it, but the first time I ever saw a Birkin, I was in New York City. We were sitting in one of those little pizzeria places, looking out the window, watching people go by, and a girl sat down next to me, and she had a Birkin, and I about flipped out. Keith and I sitting there, and I was like, oh my God. I couldn't even eat my pizza. Like, I almost choked on my pepperoni. I was staring at her bag the entire time. I couldn't take my eyes off of it. And I remember telling Keith, and I guess this has been about 19 years ago, actually, one of these days, I'm going to have one of those bags. He said, what is it? And I said, it's an Hermes Birkin. And he said, it's just a piece of leather. I swear, that's my first real memory of the first one that I ever saw in person. And I always wanted one. Not since YouTube, not, I wasn't influenced to buy one, but I've always wanted one for the past probably 19 years since I saw one. I've just always loved them. I just love the look of them. And I know there's a lot of people out there that say, I don't even like them. They look like old lady bags. I've had people tell me that, and that's fine. Everything isn't for everybody, but I love it. There's something about it. It's just, I don't want to throw out the words timeless and classic because it's so overused, but it is a timeless piece, and it has history around the bag. And I've always loved Jane Birkin because she's such a bohemian soul. She was a singer, she was an actress, and she had that bohemian vibe. Hence the name Birkin, Jane Birkin. And when I got this bag, I just want to tell you guys, I never thought, oh, I want a really crisp one. And this is Togo leather. I do love the soft leather, but I knew that I wanted to buy one in the Togo leather because it's kind of floppy. It's kind of floppy, and you can just throw all your stuff in it. And it goes with my vibe. And I've always looked at the Birkin, and you're probably going to say, Yota, you are truly crazy. I've always looked at the Birkin and thought it was a bit bohemian. I really do. And it went well with Jane Birkin's vibe because she was a very free spirit. She designed this bag, so it went really well with Jane Birkin and her bohemian vibe. I'm probably the only person ever that looked at a Birkin bag and thought that it was a bohemian bag. And it is to me. But I knew that I loved Togo leather. And it's just a floppy tote. And I do have an insert inside of it. And I knew when I bought this bag that I just wanted something usable. And I think that when Jane Birkin drew out that sketch on the plane, and if you guys don't know that story, she was traveling to London and she was bumped up to first class, and she had a basket that she carried with all of her things just thrown in the basket, and I believe that her things toppled out of the overhead bin, and the CEO, I can't think of his name right now, I'll put it on the screen for you. He was watching her and he said, you should have pockets in that agenda. And she said, what are you going to do? Hermes does not put pockets in the agenda. And he said, I am Hermes. And her reply was, oh. So as the conversation progresses, she says, can you make something with a pocket? Can you possibly make something larger than the Kelly bag, but not as large as my suitcase? So they were talking about designing a bag together while they're on this flight. So Jane says she reaches into the seat in front of her, pulls out a vomit bag, and begins to draw a sketch on this bag of what she would love to see in a bag, and she gave it to him. So she said a month later, she got a call and they said, can you come see this bag? And I guess the protocol bag was made out of cardboard. She said it was lovely in cardboard. So it looked beautiful. She loved it. And they asked her permission if they could name the bag after her. And she said, well, what do you mean? And they said, well, we have the Kelly after Grace Kelly. Can we name the Birkin after you? And she said she was flattered. Can you imagine, you guys? Can you imagine? But of course, at that time, she had no idea what status symbol that this bag would grow to be. And I just think it's an incredible story. I think she's an incredible woman. And she's just, if you watch her interviews, you will be in awe of her. She was everything I aspire to be, you guys. She's cool. I mean, she's cool. And she was rocking the coolest bag made after her. I find this unbelievable that in her entire life, she's only had 4 Birkins. Now, what does that say? She's had 4 Birkins ever. And there was a point where she had a little falling out with Hermes because of the crocodile bags. I guess it was the animal rights group thought that they were being unkind to crocodiles, and she just wanted to pull the plug on her name because she didn't want to be a part of that, and they assured her it was not done in an inhumane way, and so she allowed it. And you know, all this information I've gotten off YouTube videos and reading articles about Jane, and you guys, I highly suggest that you read it because I find it fascinating. So Jane Birkin, she was a really cool chick, and she has the unicorn of all luxury bags named after her. I mean, you know, are you a Birkin girl or a Kelly girl? I mean, and I've had people say, that bag is ugly, it's so plain, but I think it has a really cool vibe. It's the functionality of this bag. It's a great travel bag. I have used this in several, like traveling on several different car trips, and I just love it. And I just think when you get a bag like this, it's something to cherish. And I've been offered a really substantial amount on this bag, and I'm just going to tell you guys, I could make a mint off this bag, but I love it. It's my first one. It could be my only one, and I absolutely adore this bag. It's one of my favorites because, yes, it is a status symbol, but where I live, people don't really recognize it. I have had a few people say to me, is that an Hermes Birkin? I've had a few people ask me, but I've used it a lot, and, you know, to use the words flex, you know, flexing around with the bag, I really don't feel that way. I just think it's a really usable tote. It's a fancy tote, but is it even fancy? To me, it's not. But I just love the basic Birkin, and no matter how you cut it, no matter what kind of leather it's made out of, what kind of exotic, it's a Birkin. And yes, it's a status symbol. Hermes, not Hermes, Hermes. Was I influenced to buy my Birkin because I started a YouTube channel? Absolutely not. I can tell you guys, absolutely not. The first time I ever saw an Hermes Birkin, I just about choked on my pepperoni pizza. I've just always been drawn to the Birkin. I've never really been drawn to the Kelly bag, although, hey, I wouldn't turn one down, and it's a beautiful bag. But the Hermes bag, it's my kind of vibe, you guys, because I've always looked at the Hermes bag and thought, this is a really cool tote. I love the way the sangles just kind of hang here. I love the Togo leather. I love the way that it's just kind of floppy and you keep it open and you can put all your stuff in it. Who thinks of the Birkin bag as a bohemian bag? Take a look at Jane Birkin, will you? She was a really cool English actress and singer, and she was a real bohemian, and the bag is named after her, and she helped design the bag and okay the bag, and I have always thought Jane Birkin was awesome. And to me, this bag has a free-spirited vibe about it. And that's what I dig about it. And I knew when I decided I was going to finally get one that I was going to get what I wanted. I wanted the 35. I wanted the Togo leather. I wanted it to be broken in a bit, which this is in perfect condition when I got it. It was about 4 years old. Am I on an Hermes journey? No. Will I ever go on an Hermes journey? No, absolutely not. You can get these bags all over the place. You can get them, if you can pay for them, you can have one. I mean, why do that? I don't understand it. And that's not really what this video is about. It's really about the essence of the Birkin bag. So I will now answer the question, is the Hermes Birkin just a status symbol? It's not just a status symbol. It is the status symbol. It is definitely a status symbol. But there's more to the Birkin. It has history. It has a vibe. It's named after a really cool chick named Jane Birkin. And it is, I hate to throw these words around so loosely, timeless and classic, as is the Kelly. And if you just look at the differences between the Birkin and the Kelly and the two women that the bags are named after, there you will see the difference. So Jane Birkin, she's kind of this disheveled, cool hippie chick with the disheveled hair and the little round glasses. Birkin. And then you see Grace Kelly, elegant, elegantly dressed. She's married to a prince. She is the essence of elegance. Kelly. You see what I'm saying? And I've always gotten the bohemian vibe out of this bag. I always have, and I am thrilled with this bag. Will I ever have a closet full? No. If I never get another one, I have the one for me. I love it. I've used it a ton. I haven't used it much lately, but I've used it a ton. Is it heavy? A little bit. Is it really, really heavy? No. It really isn't. I think it's a comfortable bag. I think it's easy to use, and it meshes well with my boho vibe, and it's just kind of sloppy and floppy and just a really cool bag. But yes, I do think the Hermes Birkin is the ultimate status symbol as far as handbags go. It is the ultimate status symbol.